So next we're going to make a forearm-based radial gutter splint with the thumb, and you could use this for any kind of thumb trauma, including a thumb replant, and you could adapt it so you wouldn't necessarily have the forearm base on it. You could adapt it into just a hand splint for any intrinsic or thenar muscle trauma and any injuries to protect them if they've been repaired.
So this is the remainder of the bit of plastic, and we're going to use that to make a dorsal splint from, well, on Jackie's arm, from there to the end of the thumb and to the MCP joints. So that long and to there. And I could use a pattern. I could measure it, but I've got an arm as well, and I'm going to use my arm as the model. And sometimes this is quite useful if the patient is particularly painful and you can't get near them, or they're physically not with you, they're in theatre and you can't get there. You can make a splint on someone else the same size or yourself and transfer it to the patient. First of all, I just need to roughly know how long Jackie's hand is, and it's about that long, and that will do for the thumb as well. So I'm going to cut a very, very rough pattern based on my own hand. I'm just rolling it round. It's got to go from that edge to that edge, so about that big. And I'm going to just quickly heat that up, fish it out before it gets really hot, and get most of the water out, because I'm going to put this directly on me. So I'm laying it on me. I want it to go around Jackie's thumb. I want it to go around the hand, so it needs to be that shape. And then I'll allow that to cool. Or water! Or you can put water on it, but you get a wet arm. Once it's gone off, and you don't have to wait until it goes off completely, then I can trim down, and bearing in mind Jackie's arm's a little bit smaller than mine, I will guess how big it is going to be. So that bit's where the MCPs are. So I'm going to leave just a bit extra and come in there and out to the end of the thumb. Round out that bit. I'm guessing, this is guess, that's round the back of the thenar eminence, into the wrist and then back out again to the forearm. I've cut out that shape on me. And now you melt it again. And once it's heated up, you end up with that shape. And I'll never come up with that shape any other way. Same again, it gets hemmed to produce a soft edge. And this particular design is actually quite strong. It doesn't need very much reinforcement. But I have got some bits left over, so I will use them. Another little inane statement coming up. Waste not, want not. I'm just going to heat that again and just flatten out those seams. Bit there. It's quite nice. Leave that on. There's our blank, which is now warmed up. Jackie's got stockingette over it again, and I'm just going to lay that on the thumb, and you can see that the reinforcement is running over the back of the thumb and down the wrist, pushing the splint down over the wrist. This kind of splint used straight from theatre would probably be bandaged on, but again you could put strapping. If I was using Velcro, I might put a strap here, I might put a strap there. I might have one that goes from here and under the web, under the hand, and then up the other side onto there. And I might need to put a strap over the thumb like that. Several minutes later, Elvis has left the building. And there you have a radial gutter for the thumb and wrist. And sometimes you don't need the wrist, especially if we're talking about protecting repairs to the thenar muscles of the hand. In that case, you only need that much of the splint. So it can be, you only need to make that much.
So you've now seen 3 splints being made. The leg splint was done by David measuring the leg. The posi splint was made with a pattern. And the thumb radial gutter splint was made by guesswork and modelling on the patient. And those are the 3 techniques that we used.